Okay. Hi, everyone. Hello. Thank you for your patience as we get together and get started for today's Faculty of Arts Internship annual event. Thank you all for being here. I know it's a steep walk up the stairs and very hot today, but it's going to be a very exciting evening full of presentations from past interns. If you didn't grab one of the little agendas, so I won't speak too much at first and go straight into our speakers. And I'll come back throughout the speeches to give you more information if you're new to the AIO and want to learn more about how to get involved, the events that we have coming up. And at the end, we'll have some time for a bit of a reception. There's going to be a bit of food and drinks out. And if you have any questions, you can come and talk to the interns who presented. We also have some other past interns in the crowd. So feel free to grab a little name tag if you haven't as well. Before I continue, so I just wanted to let you know that the event is recorded today. And as you have noticed, we have a photographer. But yes, just to let you know that we're going to be using the photographs on our website and promotional publications. And the recording as well, which would be on our website. And before I continue, I also wanted to make a land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that the McGill University is situated on unceded indigenous lands. The Kanien'kehá:ka Nation, also known as the Mohawk, are the custodians of the lands and waters on which we gather today. Tiohtià:ke, or Montreal, has long been a gathering place for many First Nations and remains home to a vibrant and diverse community of both Indigenous and settler peoples. We honor and respect the enduring connections that Indigenous communities maintain with our past, present, and future. Our relationships with these communities are central to our work within the Arts Internship Office and beyond. McGill University also recognizes that the wealth that contributed to its establishment was partially derived from James McGill's involvement in the colonial economic system and the transatlantic slave trade. We acknowledge the profound and enduring impacts of these practices on Black and Indigenous communities and are committed to addressing these legacies as part of our ongoing efforts towards reconciliation and justice. And so to continue, we will hear today from some of our award recipients from summer 2024. So I'll give more details about the numbers of interns that we had this summer and more information about how to apply for summer 2025 as well. And without further ado, I will introduce our first speaker, or let our first speaker introduce herself. Thank you, Mar.
Okay, so hi everyone, my name is Oromí. I'm in my last year at McGill in political science honors and with a minor in philosophy. And today I'm here to talk to you about my experience this summer as an intern. So this year I was really lucky and I got one of the Arts Internship Office positions, and I got to spend 3 months working full-time in Panama as a communications intern for the United Nations Population Fund's regional office. So needless to say, the job was an incredible opportunity, both professionally and personally. I got to learn so much about the Population Fund's agenda, to see what the day-to-day looks like in a major humanitarian agency, and to consider a career inside of the United Nations. But when I applied for the position, my main motivation was the fact that this opportunity would allow me to move abroad for 3 months. So, although it's not really the first time moving alone by myself to a totally unknown country, doing so with relative short notice, as I think I got my internship mid-March and then I was flying out of Montreal May 3rd, so that was the lot. And going to a totally unknown country again and preparing in the middle of exam season, it was a bit of a challenge, I'm not gonna lie. There's much to prepare. You have to figure out your housing situation, there's plane tickets to buy, there's considerable amounts of documentation you gotta have under control because you might need visas, you might need vaccines. But I just wanna say that if you're intimidated by the preparation process, in the end, it's absolutely worth it. And thankfully, there are many resources that are available to students to help you solve any problem you could encounter during your preparation process. So first of all, before I even apply, I took the McGill offered pre-departure orientation course. And doing that before applying sort of allowed me to know what I was getting myself into, and I got a bit of an overview of the potential challenges I could face. So that was a good first step. And secondly, the arts internship office staff is there for you all the time. They provide constant support. You're never really alone, so either if you have just a little question or an actual problem, you have someone to talk to, which to me was really reassuring. Then it's always a possibility to just contact past interns, such as all the people that are here today, to talk to you. I did so, and they helped me figure out a couple logistic problems, giving me, for example, housing ideas, which was great because I didn't really know anyone in Panama at the time. And finally, the arts internship office provides you with considerable financial support, and we're all students, we know how important that is. So I take this chance to thank Martine Vanas and Randall Edwin Wilbert for their generosity, because as a recipient of the Vanas Wilbert International Experience Award, I was able to direct all of my energy to prepare for my trip and to just learn from my time at the United Nations Population Fund. So don't hesitate to just pack your things and go, because it was the best thing I could have done this summer. So yeah, that's it for me. Now I'll hand it over to Simone, who worked at CAMFED in Toronto. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Simone Danielle Poku, a U1 student majoring in International Development Studies with minors in Social Entrepreneurship and Communication Studies. This summer, I had the incredible opportunity to work as a development intern for the Campaign of Female Education, CAMFED Canada, at their office in downtown Toronto. CAMFED is an international nonprofit organization that works at a grassroots level to empower the most disadvantaged girls in rural Africa through educational and leadership programs. Obtaining a hybrid internship that aligned perfectly with my passion for women's education as a driver of social change was an invaluable experience. I applied theoretical knowledge from my studies to real-world situations, built lasting relationships with my teams, and adapted efficient skills to succeed in a professional environment. A few of my responsibilities included managing and fostering donor relations, conducting research, drafting reports on proposals, and collaborating with team members on an international scale. As a user student last year, obtaining an internship seemed like a distant dream. However, the Arts Internship Office significantly facilitated this process and helped me open doors I had previously thought were beyond my reach. Reflecting on the moment when I attended this event last year out of sheer curiosity, I was inspired by the achievements of past interns and gained valuable insights into navigating the application process effectively. The AIO's comprehensive preparation, including workshops on CV writing, interviewing, and internship optimization, provided practical tools I applied directly at CAMFED. These skills, particularly in communication, proved invaluable when drafting reports and proposals for the organization. Through guidance from the AIO, I was fortunate to connect with past CAMFED interns to leverage my role and learn from their experiences. Importantly, the Make the Most Out of Your Internship workshop during the summer was very beneficial as I adapted to CAMFED's organizational culture. Whether I needed advice on handling remote work challenges or insights on expanding my role within CAMFED, the AIO was always ready to provide support and promptly assisted me. My internship journey underscored the importance of authenticity and genuine connections, enabling a confident and sincere approach. The experience highlighted the stark contrast between envisioning a career path and immersing oneself in a professional environment. I would like to extend my gratitude towards the AIO office, Antoine, the Black Student Liaison, and my mentor, Taina, for their support and encouragement throughout the process. I'm honored to have been a recipient of the Carl and Lloyd Darlington Award, which has made this internship possible. I'd like to extend my heartfelt thanks to the Darlingtons for their generous support of the internship program. This internship enhanced my professional skills and affirmed my passion for the field of international development while revealing both its complexities and rewards. Thank you for your time. Now I'll hand it over to Leo, who interned at the Galicia Jewish Museum in Poland.
Hi, my name is Leo Hertzler, and I'm a U3 Jewish Studies student with minors in anthropology and religious studies. Due to the generosity of the Kosman family, I was able to travel to southern Poland this summer as an intern for the Galicia Jewish Museum. As a Jewish studies major, I knew that I wanted to do something related to this field of Eastern European Judaism, which is my focus. And this experience was unparalleled for the opportunity it presented to gain practical knowledge pertaining to an actual career in this field. Finding my own internship was a process. I knew I wanted to engage with the professional field of Jewish studies. However, that world is kind of a small one. So I knew networking people I had met at McGill or various other people I had met from this world would be key to getting an internship. That was how I learned about the position at Galicia Jewish Museum. I had had a friend from my program who had done it 2 years ago. The process of academic networking was new to me and taught me a lot of soft skills that I can use in the future to do similar work because, like I said, small field. Once I had found a suitable place to work, the process of securing the internship was pretty straightforward. After a Zoom interview, a confirmation email, and a few text chains, I knew that I was going to Poland. I started the application for funding because I knew that I would need assistance to realize this internship. This involved a lot of background research about where I would be going and what I would be doing. Different places cost different amounts to live. It was a lot of work, but by the end, I had planned a budget, asked for recommendations, and knew what my plan for the internship would be. This was also new to me. I had never had to apply for funding at this level before. Preparing for long-term international travel was at once both exhilarating and anxiety-inducing. I was entering into an environment so culturally disconnected from what I knew, in a place I had never been where I didn't speak the language. I prepared by adding to the already obscene amounts of research I had previously done, as well as talking to people I knew who were familiar with travel and Eastern Europe. This research also provided me with the knowledge for how best to utilize my time during the internship. As soon as I arrived in Krakow, I had a prepared list of important heritage sites that I wanted to visit, allowing me to make the most of my internship both in the work I did for the Galicia Jewish Museum, such as helping put on the Jewish Culture Festival, contributing to research projects, and other miscellaneous tasks, and in my exploration of a city so integral to Polish Jewish history. Helping contribute to research being done to preserve and educate the Polish community about Jewish history was an unparalleled gift that I will treasure for the rest of my life. I'm grateful to the AIO and to the Kosman family for their generosity in providing me with this opportunity to grow in a variety of skill sets. Now I'll hand it over to Rachel, who completed a research internship with Professor Bishop Stahl.
Sorry. I made it worse.
Good evening, students, professors, staff, and esteemed guests. My name is Rachel Barker, and I was a recipient of an Arts Research Internship Award this summer. I'm currently in my third year of studies in art history with minors in English literature and French, and my experience with the ARIA program has fundamentally shaped my time here at McGill. Over the course of May to July, my research project concerned archival research in photographic representations of indigeneity in Turtle Island's history. My supervising professor, Dr. Riley Bishop-Stahl, provided me with the opportunity to research an invaluable sector of Turtle Island's photographic history, specifically a set of photographs featuring Tatanka Iotanka, a Hunkpapa Lakota chief, medicine man, and critical activist for his community among many communities across Turtle Island. I knew I wanted to partake in research within the field of art history, and after taking a class with Dr. Bishop-Stahl, I approached her with details about the ARIA program and some potential topics I was interested in researching. My professor was at the time writing a book about historic photographic representations of indigeneity, and from here we decided on my topic. The application process itself to ARIA is not complicated. However, I recommend reaching out to professors you're interested in working with early on in the first semester so that you can get a chance to get to know them and for them to get to know you and determine if they are interested in taking you on as an intern. Furthermore, it's important to show an aptitude and an interest in your professor's particular field of study. So I recommend reading any scholarship they've written to familiarize yourself with the kinds of research they partake in. This also shows you're serious and very interested in working as a research intern and possess the self-discipline required to do so successfully. Throughout my ARIA process, I was able to engage in in-person research at the McCord Stewart Museum, where I got to work with the archival physical photographs I was studying. I studied a set of photographs from 1885 featuring Buffalo Bill's Wild West show when it visited Jojage, Montreal, with Tatanka Iotanka as an actor. These photographs illustrate a deeply settler colonial encounter, and it has rippling implications for ongoing representations of indigeneity within contemporary media and art historical studies. Therefore, the point of my research project was to critically analyze and unpack this encounter and the historical information surrounding it to construct a more comprehensive understanding of Tatanka Iotanka's life and the colonial legacy of the Wild West show. I am deeply grateful for this opportunity to complete an ARIA project, and I would like to thank Mr. Bram Garber and the Jarmez family for providing the generous funding that made this research possible. I learned so much from my fellow ARIA interns and from the workshops provided by the AIO, and this has fundamentally shaped my future academic pursuits. If you'd like to hear more about my research, as well as the incredible research of my fellow ARIA interns, the annual undergraduate research event is happening on October 8th in this building in the ballroom, and we would love to see some of you there. Now I'll hand it over to Jade, who will present more on the AIO resources. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. You're doing my job better than me for promoting the event. So yeah, I will let everybody. All right, so a quick presentation once again for the new students in the crowd who aren't familiar with the services provided by the Arts Internship Office. So you've heard, again, from the speakers kind of what their experience was, but it can be broken down in 4 main categories. So the obvious one is internship opportunities. So we have partnerships with certain host organizations where the spots are reserved for McGill art students. But then we also have funding opportunities where if you find your own internship, like a few of the speakers tonight, you can then apply for the funding and to support your internship in the summer. Again, as the speakers have mentioned, there's a lot of training throughout the year. So at this time of the year, we have a lot of workshops on preparing your CV, your cover letter, preparing your applications. And if you are selected as an award recipient, there's also training before, during, and after. So you are well supported, and on top of the funding, you really get a well-rounded training and a lot of skills, again, that speakers mentioned, that you can bring onto your career in the future. And mentorship opportunities, I think I added a slide after that, but we will hear from the Arts Undergraduate Society, who will present our main mentorship program. Come at me. And so, as we've mentioned, the funding is through the Internship Awards, and they're established thanks to the generous support of McGill alumni and the Arts Undergraduate Society. And so, yeah, maybe we can already do a round of applause for all the generous donors and all the students who have completed. Because again, none of this would be possible without their support. And I will hand it over to Sofia, who will present our mentorship initiative. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here tonight. So, as mentioned, my name is Sophia, and I'm the president of the Arts Undergraduate Society. I did not spend my summer doing anything as impressive as you guys, but I did learn how to file corporate taxes in my basement office. So there was something, but thank you. On a more interesting note, it's my absolute pleasure to share with you the Arts Internship Mentorship Initiative, or AMI. AMI was created between the Arts Internship Office and the Arts Undergraduate Society to foster student connections and networks between past and future interns. Speaking from personal experience, I would not be where I am today without the support and mentorship of presidents and executives that came before me. Some of my most valuable lessons, advice, and cry sessions have been with fellow students who have helped guide me. This incredible program is open to students who have completed AIO or ARIA internships and are in the Faculty of Arts or the Faculty of Arts and Sciences and are interested in sharing their experience and advice. Mentors are able to apply until September 22nd, and mentees are able to be assigned a mentor by October 14th. And finally, you're able to meet and greet your mentors and mentees on November 6th from 5 to 7 p.m. Once again, I cannot express enough how valuable it is to have someone to turn to with questions and concerns. To those who have completed an internship, your experience and advice are invaluable. To those who are facing the daunting and incredibly exciting experience of applying for an internship, don't be afraid to reach out and form these connections. Thank you.
And our next speaker for a second round of speakers will be Uma. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. My name is Uma Daca, and I'm now in my fourth year here at McGill, completing my joint honors degree in anthropology and Latin American and Caribbean studies. This summer, I entered at the Argentine Institute of Research in Arid Zones under the National Scientific and Technical Research Institute in Mendoza, Argentina. Being Latin American and having the asset of speaking Spanish, I found this internship through researching several organizations, specifically academically oriented institutes where I knew I would be able to learn from some of the best social scientists in Latin America. I came across Dr. Cecilia Rubio, an incredibly talented and brilliant geographer who works on a variety of climate and land degradation related issues. And luckily I was able to get in touch with her through her listed contact online. Between my CV and very obvious interest in her work, she was happy to offer me an unpaid internship, which is why I turned to the Arts Internship Office in order to cover the costs of travel and living while there. So my application to the AIO was certainly something that I put a lot of thought into, which is why I would suggest finding an internship that truly speaks to you, as I believe that shines through when you're writing your personal statements. In addition to applying for funding, I decided to apply for academic credit under the anthropology component of my degree. This was more of a challenge due to the fact that many professors are already very overloaded with advisees and mentees. However, through emailing a few of my anthropology professors, word got around the department, and Professor Sandra Hyde graciously offered to take me on. In getting approved, I think that the most challenging part of that was choosing a research question, especially before even getting to complete my internship. But luckily, I had the privilege of assisting in fieldwork in Lagunas de Rosario, an indigenous community in Mendoza, where the Institute is engaging in collaborative research to put together a proposal that the community can bring to the municipality in order to have autonomy over management of resources, particularly water, which is a major issue in this desert region that's almost in constant condition of drought. Through this, I was able to write my report about the social, cultural, and extremely political dimensions of environmentalism and conservation in global contexts. I would like to say a very big thank you to the AIO and to Brenda and Morrison Hurley for making this experience possible. It was an honor to work and intern this summer in my parents' home country under an institute that conducts such meaningful and tangible research. At this moment, I would like to welcome William, who interned at the Permanent Mission of Canada to the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Will Dufour. I'm a third year here at McGill studying history and politics. Earlier this summer, I was given the opportunity to complete an internship in Vienna with Global Affairs Canada, specifically the Canadian delegation to the Organization of Security and Cooperation in Europe. The arts internship opportunities in Vienna are specifically popular and competitive among political science students here, and so I found out about it through word of mouth and its reputation. My internship and the other two Vienna ones are relatively unique in that they're early application, meaning that the deadline is in January. And what did the early application process look like for me? So I would say it actually started way before. When last summer I started reaching out to various public servants and chatting with them about steps I should be taking now to improve my prospects. So come January, I knew what Global Affairs Canada was looking for, and I put that part of myself forward in the application. From there, I focused on interview prep. I did research on Canadian diplomacy in Europe and its priorities, and then I did a lot of standard things like reflecting on situations in past jobs I had overcome, and thought about how I can speak to those in a way that puts my character and values forward. On to the more logistical stuff. There are a lot of hoops to jump through given the job is with the Canadian Foreign Ministry and halfway across the world. The internship requires an advanced security clearance, which especially is no easy thing to come by, especially with government backlogs right now. So for those considering a Vienna internship, I would say get everything in order as soon as possible. So your McGill pre-departure orientation, your security clearance, visa, plane tickets, etc. Housing and accommodation also presents quite a challenge. For the most part, housing is a matter of finding the right website that's offering legitimate lodging. And fortunately for you guys, the other interns and I put together a document that the embassy in Vienna will be distributing to future interns to help them find essentials and things like that. And as well, after you complete an internship, you're expected to complete the internship course in your respective departments. So prior to leaving, I got in touch with several professors, and one of them agreed to supervise my project. So this semester, I'm writing a research project on Ukrainian refugees and international law with Professor Megan Bradley in the Political Science Department. I'd like to also conclude by thanking Mr. Garvin Brown, who funded my internship through the Susan Casey Brown Fund, created in honor of his mother. And I want to say, as a first-generation student and a student of modest means, I don't think I would have had the means to travel to Vienna and complete the internship, so it truly does mean a lot to me. I'll now like to pass the floor over to Avryl and Jayda, who interned for Poetry Matters. Thank you.
Hello everyone, it's great to see everyone here for this event. This is a great opportunity to start thinking as early as possible about potential internship interests and how to go about pursuing them. Sorry. My name is Jayda Smith. I'm a U2 English literature major.
And my name is Avryl, and I'm in my last year of an honors English literature degree with a minor in French language and literature.
Our internship was with Poetry Matters, a McGill-based initiative that investigates and highlights the significance of poetry in our lives. They often have poetry events like workshops and readings.
Over the summer, our main task was to research Dr. Barbara Althea Jones. She's a Trinidadian-born poet, plant geneticist, and Black activist in Montreal in the 60s, and most of our research took place at McGill University Archives and other archives in Montreal.
So, how did I actually go about finding this internship opportunity? During my second semester as an English major, I figured I should start thinking about ways I could apply my studies to my real life. Searching McGill internships online, I came across the AIO website and saw they regularly assisted students with funding for internships, as well as making them aware of internship opportunities in the first place. As English majors, we all like to joke about how we have no job prospects or opportunities to apply to our degree in the real world. When people ask about what we study and we tell them English literature, it is not uncommon to receive a raised, skeptical brow and a doubtful, and what are you planning to do with that? Needless to say, I didn't think I'd find an opportunity so directly related to my field of interest. I quickly started working on my application. My advice would be to look into opportunities as soon as you think of something you're interested in. I almost made the mistake of assuming that because I was a lit major, there would be nothing available for me related to literature research or writing. But because I took the time to look into it and looked through every section of the website, I was able to find several internships that caught my eye.
I came across the internship in a slightly different way than Jayda. Dr. Miranda Hickman, who's the director of Poetry Matters, was a professor of mine last spring, and at the time I was aware of Poetry Matters, and I was interested in the initiative's interdisciplinary engagement and conversations both within but also beyond the university context. So I asked during office hours one day whether or not undergraduate students could participate in this initiative. And as it so happens, a few weeks later, the AIO was accepted to start interviewing interns for the arts internship summer internship program. And because I had expressed that interest, my professor let me know that applications were open for this if I wanted to apply. In other words, if I hadn't braved my professor's office hours, I probably wouldn't have been aware of this internship, that it was a possibility because, like Jayda, I had assumed that there might not be an option for English literature students that would align so closely with what I'm interested in. However, as we've already seen tonight, there's quite a spectrum of internships that are offered through the Arts Internship Office. So anyways, all of that is to say, I really encourage you, if you're considering an internship, to go to your professor's office hours, to ask questions about their research, and to express your interest if they're doing something that you'd like to be a part of.
Okay, so you have your internship, but now what? Our first piece of advice for completing an internship is to break up your workload into smaller chunks. At the beginning of our internship, we were essentially given a cart with 3 or 4 boxes of papers to sift through. These papers were largely Dr. Jones's notes from her potato research. As you can imagine, it was sometimes difficult to stay attentive as we read through pages and pages of notes about the chlorophyll content of potato plants. As literature students, this is not the kind of reading we're used to. So Avryl and I decided to go to the archives for 1 or 2 hours, 3 to 4 times a week, rather than longer, less frequent stints. This way we could maintain our concentration as we read.
Our second piece of advice is to be curious. Curiosity can take on many forms, and those forms will depend a lot on the nature of your internship. But for us, it often meant developing questions from the material that we had seen in the archives at McGill. For example, on one of Jones's CVs, we saw that she had a connection to Congregation Shar HaShemayim in Montreal. So we reached out to them, and they redirected us to the Jewish Public Library, where we were actually able to work with an archivist there to find a poem that we hadn't seen before. And curiosity also took us beyond the archives. We spoke with a few different experts in various fields relevant to Jones's life and work, including David Austin, a historian and the author of 2 books, who have informed our research. And we've also had the unique opportunity of exchanging notes with a professor at the University of Bristol, who is currently in the process of writing a book about Caribbean women writers that will feature Jones. And recently, our curiosity was even further expanded when we had the opportunity to have a conversation with a relative of Jones about her Aunt Barbara Jones, which was really neat. So if you're pursuing an internship, especially one that involves research, be curious. By asking questions, you not only become more engaged in the work you're doing, but you also open the door to productive collaboration with others.
Overall, our internship has been an invaluable experience. Of course, we learned the practical skills associated with working in archives, but we also learned about local history, Caribbean literature and history, and different theoretical modes of approaching a text. We are currently preparing a short biography of Jones's life for the Poetry Matters website, and in 2 weeks we'll be interviewed by an initiative called ModPo out of the University of Pennsylvania, where we will discuss Jones's poetry. This internship has led to many opportunities that neither Avryl or I imagined when we started our internship.
As recipients of the Dean of Arts Development Fund, we would like to both thank Dean Lisa Shapiro and the Arts Internship Office for making this internship possible. We would also like to express our gratitude to Professor Miranda Hickman, not only for her exceptional guidance, but also for sharing with us her initial interest in Dr. Barbara Althea Jones. This has been an incredible summer of discovery and academic growth for both of us.
Now we'd like to hand it over to Sara, who interned for the Ibex Media Network in Pakistan.
Hello, everyone. I hope that you're enjoying the evening. It was a lot of fun walking into my classes all dressed up today, so I'm definitely having a lot of fun. My name is Sara Saleem Daredia, and I'm a U3 student. I'm majoring in International Development Studies with a double minor in Environment and Arabic. This past summer, I interned with the Ibex Media Network in Pakistan. Last summer, I did a different internship also with the AIO in Pakistan. I was working with the Gilgit-Baltistan Environmental Protection Agency, through which I discovered IMN. So for this summer, I got in touch with IMN, and they were very happy to offer me an internship opportunity. So I spent my 2 months in Pakistan, and during that time, I really got to appreciate the AIO services, and I think that's what I'd like to stress on today. So I think take advantage of the AIO services as much as possible, and a lot of you might be able to share similar sentiments. I know that when I was first applying for my internship, I was very intimidated by the application process, but when I went into the drop-in hours, they provided me step-by-step guidance and helped me through the process, which really I found super helpful. I am also working with the AIO now, so if you would like to come see me during the drop-in hours, that's also possible. Other than that, there's information sessions that, again, provide you step-by-step guidance, which is very, very helpful. With all these services, I think what I just really want to stress on is that it's very nice to feel that there's somebody there that wants you to grow, to make the most out of your experience, that helps you get the internship, checks in with you while you're at your internship, and then helps you reflect on your internship post the experience. Lastly, I would sincerely like to thank Mr. Curie for supporting my internship award. And I will now hand over the mic to Taina and Plem, who interned with UNHCR in Montreal in Canada. Thank
you. Sorry. Good evening, everyone. I'm really happy to be here. It's my second time interning with the Arts Internship Office, and I always say how, like, if I could have a third year, I would do it again and again. And for anybody who doesn't know, you can apply as many times as you want, so definitely do it. So my name is Taina, and I'm currently in my final year at McGill University. I'm studying international development, and I'm completing a minor in health geography. And this past summer, I had the opportunity to intern at the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees at the office in Ottawa. I was part of the External Relations and Communications team, and I found it through a posting on the AIO's website. And like many of you, I'm sure, I've applied for internships with the United Nations before, but I never got one because you apply and you see like 8,000 other people have applied for the same position all around the world. And people will always tell you, you need to have somebody on the inside, you need connections. And one thing I want to say to the people at the AIO today, Jade, and thank you for being kind of that person on the inside for me who has helped me get these internships and also prepare for the interview process. So I'm just going to give you a bit of advice, kind of summarizing what people have said earlier, and kind of give you a bit of a rundown on how I've done it. So first, of course, people will tell you all the time, but you do need to start early and prepare thoroughly for your internships. You need a tailored CV for sure, and you do need a cover letter for different positions that you apply for, because it not only lets people know that, you know, this person is intentional into getting this position and they do care to put their best self forward, so you have everything to gain. And second, to research and network. The AIO has so many opportunities for us to meet people, past interns. You get to sit with people who have walked down the same path you're about to walk in. So take advantage of these opportunities. And also look through the internship highlights that they post. Their website is full of different things you can take advantage of. So definitely do look at it. And fourth thing I want to say is definitely to persevere through rejection. I have to share that, unfortunately, this was not my first internship I had applied for. I had applied for another position, and I had gone up to the final interview, and I didn't end up getting it. And of course, rejection can be destabilizing. You start sometimes to even wonder, oh, is there something wrong about me? But I choose to believe that, whenever you get blocked from your first choice, maybe it just means that there's more for you to see down the line on your way to your final destination. So I know it's easier said than done, but if you do face any rejections this year as you apply, definitely try to go for a mindset that's more like, well, maybe there's more for me to see. Maybe I haven't seen it all, right? And for those of you who want to get academic credit for the internship that you're going to be doing, I did it as well. And I did it through the AIOP's website. Once again, guys, the website, check it out. I'll have the chance to work with Professor Kazu Takamura on a research paper titled Bridging the Gap, Addressing the Dilemma of Environmental Displacement and Refugee Status. Now I'd like to thank the generous donors who have made this opportunity possible. The McGill Faculty of Arts Action Plan to address anti-Black racism. As an independent student funding my own way through university, I would not have been able to go and move to a different city for 3 months and, cover all the expenses related. So thank you so much for supporting students like me. And all in all, I'm just so grateful to have had the opportunity to work on causes that I care about, and just highlighting the plight of refugees, asylum seekers, and stateless people around the world, and just also getting to see the ins and outs of working in a diplomatic setting. And if I can leave you with something, of course, facing ups and downs while you're going through the application process is normal. But one thing I can leave you with is that if you work hard and you truly show up for yourself in everything you do, what is meant for you will find you. And if it missed you, then maybe it was not meant for you right now. But for sure, maybe that just means that you haven't seen it all. So. Yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for listening. And I'm going to pass it down to Plem.
Thank you, Taina. My name is Plem. I study international development and political science at McGill. I'm a joint honors student. Many people, and including Taina, have been talking about the process, which myself I went through. But I would center my speech on a very personal note. Speaking of luck, I consider myself as a very, very lucky person. And when I was telling a friend of mine that, he asked me, have you ever won some of those millions at Loterie Quebec? I said no. So he was like, so why do you consider yourself a very lucky person? Well, I may not be lucky in the way he presumes it, but first of all, I haven't played at Loterie Quebec at all. Who knows, maybe. But I'm lucky because today I'm standing in front of you, while 4 years ago, every day I woke up, I wondered if there is another life beyond the refugee camp, beyond what I was seeing in a refugee camp, beyond the kids playing in the streets at the times when they were supposed to be in school. And today I'm here because a group of people, students, professors, and community members, embarked in a very ambitious project to sponsor refugee students from the refugee camps to post-secondary education in Canada. And the motivations behind my internship at the UNHCR, just like Taina, were not far from those of these people. Because I believe that this is how these people contribute to the well-being of the community. And to me, it comes from a very personal experience. almost 9 years ago when I became a refugee in Uganda, I saw UNHCR as representing hope to me, but also to my family, but also and other youth like me who were in a refugee camp. And as time passed on, I started asking myself that I have received so much from these guys, so what could I do? What can I do to give back? And interning at UNHCR this summer, I responded to this feeling in two different ways. One is that it helped me within my capacity and knowledge. It allowed me to contribute to the work of the organization, mainly in protecting refugees, but also in particular those refugees who wish to make Canada and Quebec their home. And the second one is that when I was doing my internship, I had the opportunity to be a panelist at the World Refugee Day event, which I organized with Taina and my supervisor. And there I made the case that refugees, students, we don't just want to receive, we also want to give back. And when we give, we don't give, it's not out of obligation to those who helped us, but out of solidarity to those who are still in need, like we were once. Ultimately, I feel like I spent my summer paying the most beautiful dues that I owed to community. And this wouldn't have been possible without the work of the Art Internship Office, who are always there making sure that students get the need they have. They get the help they need for the academic and professional development. And this in particular, I can't recall the exact number of urgent emails I sent to Anne Taina, but I do remember that every time I did, I received the response I needed in less than 24 hours. So, Anne, this is my time and opportunity to say thank you very much. And lastly, I will end my speech thanking the donors, Ms. Sokolov and Bookman, who are not here today, unfortunately. My English may not be able to express the beauty of their support, but I express my gratitude for what they will continue to do for future interns. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. I will, sorry for the slides, but we made it through. Another round of applause for our wonderful speakers. Thank you so, so much. And before we conclude, I'll invite Professor Dean Shapiro to say a few words.
Hi, I'm Lisa Shapiro, the professor of philosophy and a dean of the Faculty of Arts. So it's always a pleasure to listen to students describe the meaningfulness of the internships that they've just completed. It restores my optimism after a long day. So it's really it's been great listening to the descriptions, and I appreciated in particular the tips to those of you thinking about applying for internships, about how to navigate through the system, but most of all also to not assume that you're not going to be eligible for an internship, or you're not going to be offered an internship, and that even if you aren't successful, to keep applying again. So just want to make clear, just there are more people interested in internships than there are internships on offer, and we're working on that to increase the number of opportunities. But that shouldn't discourage you from trying to take advantage of the opportunities that are available. I wanted to actually take a moment. Many of you have worked with Ann Turner, who manages the Arts Internship Office. And today is Ann's last day at McGill in a full-time capacity. So I just wanted to just say a few words celebrating what she's achieved in the faculty. My understanding is she started at McGill at the very same time the Arts Internship Office started, 2002. And part of a big reason why the Arts Internship Office is as successful as it is and provides the rich and full experiences it does is because of Anne's work over 2 decades and more to build it and to turn it into what it is now and to chart it on its course for more decades to come. And so I just want to thank Anne so much for her efforts, for her success, and to congratulate her tremendously for what she's achieved in her time here in the Faculty of Arts at McGill. So, Anne, we are very sorry that you've decided to enjoy gardening or traveling or whatever you will make time to do, but we hope you will nonetheless miss us and enjoy it, and I know for sure that we will miss you, and I know that what you've built will continue as well, and so it's a great legacy that you leave behind you. So, congratulations. Over to you, Jade.
Why would you do that to me? It's always hard to keep back the tears, but today especially. Anyways, for those of you who haven't yet gone through all the emotional AIO journey, as you can tell, I'll give you some more factual ways to keep in touch with us. Again, it's great that you made it here today. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead of myself. I'll go through my slides. So yeah, once again, I want to give a bit more numbers in terms of the generous donations that we had and the number of students that we supported this summer. So in summer 24, we had 145 Faculty of Arts students receiving over $693,000 as award recipients, and 29 students receiving over $145,000 as ARIA interns, so the research internships. So once again, congratulations to all of you for completing your internships, and hopefully you leave this event really motivated to apply for next year. I want to thank also the partnering host organizations that we've been working with. So again, these are all paid positions through our office, and again, these internships would not be what they are without the mentorship and the amount of work that goes into completing the internships every summer. And so yeah, we're very grateful for your continued partnerships, and as Dean Shapiro mentioned, to create more and more opportunities in Canada and beyond. So again, I just put in a few of the posters, a few of the deadlines. So again, the website, as Taina mentioned, has a lot of information, and I'll give you some more resources on how to get in touch with us. So the partnerships are due in February. Some of them might be earlier, as William mentioned. The applications, if you find your own internship and want to apply for awards, that would be mid-March, just to kind of keep an idea of the timeline in your head. For the research internships, the deadline is February 23rd. And so we have an info session, so that will be a lot more in details on how to apply on September 26th. So everything is on the website if you want to register for that as well. It's going to be virtual on Zoom, so you can already register and put it in your calendar. If you're interested in a research internship, we all have a different info session on October 1st. Same thing, virtual, you can register on Zoom. So here's a bit of a summary of all the info sessions that we have coming up. So the general AIO one, the research internship, I don't have the poster yet, but we're bringing back the how to prepare for an international internship, because as you heard tonight, it takes a lot of preparation and information to prepare for international travel, and we really want to encourage students to know about all the resources and how to be best prepared for international experiences. And in the winter semester, we're going to have a lot more info sessions as well. We also have our annual event for the research internships, as Rachel mentioned. And so that will be an opportunity to hear from each of all the 29 recipients and their research. So yeah, it's going to be in the same building, but in the ballroom downstairs. So if you're free on October 8th, in a few weeks, we would really love for you to come and hear about the research. So here are the events. So yeah, the ARIA poster event and then the AMI meet and greet. So if you register, we'll have an in-person meet and greet on November 6th to facilitate the mentors and mentees meeting, but there's also other ways to meet. As we mentioned, also there's workshops. And so here's a bit of a summary. If you already want to get started, again, the fact that you're here today is really great, but to keep going until next summer, you can come to the virtual workshop, also register on Zoom and update your CV and learn about how to have a good cover letter. That was going to be all in November. And so once again, the website, so there's an events tab and there's a section for each of the events I mentioned and links to register if needed. So once again, stay informed. I invite you to maybe take a little picture of this one. Again, we have Facebook, Instagram, our email. Again, emails are very central to the AIO. So if ever you have any questions, you can email us there. We also have a listserv and newsletter, so you can get the emails directly into your inbox whenever we have updates. We're located in the Leacock building on the 3rd floor in room 307, so just a bit up the street. Drop-in hours, so as Sara mentioned, we have wonderful student staff who are here. Say hi. Actually, I have a slide for you. But yes, so we finally set the drop-in hours for the semester, and so during those hours, the door will be open and we'll be ready to welcome you for any questions. If you can't make it to any of these hours, you can always set an appointment by emailing us. So yes, a moment for our staff as well, who are all past interns and who graciously work for us, and to continue sharing the resources and help us make the AIO work. So again, our Instagram is here, and another slide to stay connected. Again, I can't emphasize enough. We know September can be a great moment. It's a lot of information. You're so motivated, but it's really important to just keep and come and talk to us. Again, we can just sit down and talk about your specific situation, what resources are out there. And again, as speakers, hopefully motivated you to really keep going and to look out for all the opportunities that are out there for you, because there really are a lot. And it's a shame if people think that they can't have access to them. So yeah, this is it for tonight. If you want to hang around, we're going to have a bit of a food and beverages passed along. And thank you so much to everyone tonight. So it was a wonderful evening. And I wish you a great rest of your week and hope to see you at the AIO.